fascinating summit that you all know about, and some of you, or maybe all of you, were there. We have done a summary of the summit now, and I hope you all have yes, I see you have a copy of that. And the basic reason why we're supporting this is there's an opportunity in the legislative session of 2010 for the legislature and hopefully the governor to solve some of our problems, because there's two things that need to be done in order to balance the budget. One is to get enough revenue in, and also to make sure the spending doesn't go above that, which is that basic last principle that you have in the statement. But the most important of all, that we shouldn't let this time go by because of the conflict between people's opinions.
The message is simple. There's a big problem in the state. There's a short-term problem of a very big deficit for 2011 and changing dynamics that make the long-term budget problems difficult. And that's going to involve lots of tough choices. And the sooner the state gets about dealing with those problems, the better.
Their advice is to move beyond partisan bickering and to recognize the problem as larger than party or ideology. What have we heard from these leaders? One, the budget deficit is structural, persistent, and will not fix itself. We will not grow our way out of this problem. Waiting to address the problem will only make things worse. The deficit is somewhere between 13 and 21% of our total budget. That's why we've provided this chart. You can argue about how big the problem is, but it's somewhere between 13 and 21% of the budget. We can't pretend that it's insignificant, and we need to act. There should be no partisan disagreement, according to these leaders, on the budget balancing goal. The law requires it, and common sense demands it. The risk is that a large part of this deficit will fall on property taxpayers if we don't act at the state level in an honest way. We're committed to putting aside partisan ideologies and try to stabilize the state budget so that we will be in a position in a few years to make strategic investments that are necessary for the financial security of our state and prosperity. Speaker and I are announcing today then, to follow up the summit, that we're appointing a joint committee on a balanced budget, subgroup of fiscal policy and planning, smaller than fiscal policy and planning, that myself and Representative Lynn Carlson, the senior budget person in the House, will chair. And our intent is to begin meeting soon during the interim and to develop recommendations that can be acted upon when the legislature comes back in February. We're going to reach out to the governor. We need to negotiate, compromise, and discuss all our possibilities. It's our duty and our responsibility. We know there's a problem. We need to address it now. That's the fiscally responsible thing to do.
This is also a process of Minnesotans kind of learning together about the size of our budget problems and kind of what the options are going forward. Everyone in this state wants to have a successful and prosperous state, but budget instability threatens that prosperity and threatens the ability to make key investments that people really want.